the Spotify money for this thing.
It's okay. You didn't use any of the Spotify money for
But
that thing. We're getting paid to do this?
I don't
First
know.
I've
Are
heard
we?
about it.
Greg's over here using the Spotify money that doesn't exist. Hey guys, welcome to Pink Sock
Hi
Podcast.
everyone.
Thank you all for joining. Greg's over here spending all the damn Spotify money on a fucking microphone. Look at him.
Can you smell?
Spending
Dude, you
all the
sound
money
like-
we don't have.
You sound like you belong to syndicated radio. That thing's clear as shit, man.
I know. I should
Come
I should have my microphone up here, like Robert Rowe.
I love Robert Rowe. I really do.
Yeah,
It's
same.
really good.
He
I like
he inspired me to have my microphone up here.
I love Rob, but I got to give him a hard time. My microphone smells funny. Anyway, hi, Just the Facts. Welcome, bro. If you want to join us, let us know, and we will bring you on. I love talking to him. He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
awesome. But
Yeah.
by the way, I'd feel bad not mentioning it. I was gonna do a lighthearted show today, but our hearts go out to those in Ukraine. We've got friends that live in the surrounding areas, not in Ukraine, but near Ukraine. So we hope everybody stays safe. I was I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but I thought it was funny. I love you, Rob. But no, I saw this meme the other day, like a picture, and it said, "You really think Russia's that far away from the United States?" And it shows Alaska, how it's like really close to Russia. And I'm like, it's not attached to the United States.
Yeah.
Let's just give that to Canada. And
Yeah.
people in the comments didn't like
Pretty
it. I'm
crazy
like, I'm
what's
just
going
joking.
on right now.
I get that I shouldn't joke like that with what's going on, but I thought it was funny. I mean, just let Canada
Yeah.
have it. It's attached to them, not us. Could you imagine?
Sorry, Jeff.
We've got a lot of friends in Canada. Well, I do. I don't know about you guys. But like Jeff Towers is from Canada. Could you imagine the Canadians fighting the Russians instead of America? That'd be the friendliest fight ever. I'd be like, sorry, I didn't mean. They're like, sorry, I didn't mean it. What were you gonna say? You're wearing a Cleveland shirt. You're not even near Cleveland.
Yeah, they're my team, man.
Damn, dude, I'm closer to Cleveland than you are, unless there's a Cleveland, Australia. Is there?
There is now.
I was thinking the same as well. Yeah, you are a long way from Cleveland.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
I need to get an
No.
Australian sports team shirt and wear it on the show, and have me and Gorak wearing the shirts of places that aren't near us.
That's better.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable now like this now.
You are starting to slowly look like somebody that lives in Ohio. Are you trying to move?
Yeah. I'm trying to get out of this fucking Australian shit. It's been dude, it's been summer here now has ended because it's the 1st of March already now. And thank fuck summer is over. Because it's been a shit summer.
I feel the same way about our winter.
So
It's been weird.
Yeah, I feel the same about winter.
It's weird because Australia has their summer during our winter, and then we have our summer during Australian winter. Right? Is that correct?
well, you're frozen.
Oh, sorry. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Greg? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Our summer is during your winter, and your winter is during our summer. Is that correct? I think Greg's frozen.
Yeah.
You're breaking up, dude.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Was he frozen in your end?
You froze and then Mike froze first, I think. Yeah.
It's live. It happens. Is Gorak still?
Yeah.
It happens. But anyway,
You're all back to me now, anyway.
what I was saying, what I was saying is, Gorak, your summer is during our winter. Our winter is during your summer.
Yeah.
And
It's weird.
Yeah, like that's fucking. You guys are so far ahead in time that your seasons are fucked
And
up.
you know what's really weird? Like how you guys do your dates. Like when you do the date, it's like you put the month, day, and year. We put the day, month, and year. So you guys do things reverse.
Yeah, that's weird
Yeah.
to a lot of people. I
Yeah.
get that. Americans are fucking weird. I guess according
What?
to a lot of people in the chat, the freezing wasn't on my end. I don't know.
Problem not on Mike's side.
So I don't know what's going on, but it's all right. It's live. It happens, folks.
Aliens are coming.
The aliens are coming, and so am I. that should be on a shirt.
Hey, that's a song.
The aliens are coming, and so am I. That sounds like a Wednesday
It does.
13. Sounds like a Wednesday 13 song.
I was gonna say it was a rip-off of Love Bite, So Do I from Hailstorm.
Aliens are coming, and so am I, and so am I. What the fuck?
Weird Al, write that song.
So I'm going to discuss the elephant in the room because it'd be wrong of me not to. Yes, Raven Black is not joining us today because she has a bit of a health problem. Her eyes messed up. She scratched her retina. I forget what she said she scratched, but she scratched something. So hopefully she gets better soon, and we are going to reschedule. So that's happening. You guys are quiet again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm
No,
cool.
just listening. Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I remember that day when I was gonna get up. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm 30 minutes early. I'm gonna get up and make myself a coffee. Check my phone. It's cancelled. Like,
Well, I even put in the chat. I'm like, we're having a meeting still, and you didn't show
yeah,
up.
but then I went back to then I went back to sleep, and then I woke back up again, and I said we're having a meeting. I'm like, whoops.
We had the meeting.
Robert Rowe lives in Missouri. I forgot about that. I'm going to Missouri in maybe 6 months, maybe. I don't know yet. But they had a weird winter. It was in the 60s and 70s, he said.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's been pissing down raining here for the last week or two. It's crazy.
Damn,
it's been a warm winter here as well.
It's been
Yeah.
We had like a weird winter in Ohio. We had like a fucking ice storm thing, and then it snowed. And before that, we had a foot of snow, and then it was warm for a few days, and then it snowed again, and then it warmed up. Now it's been like in the 50s, I think, 30s to 50s. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be on Dabs with Dads again tonight. Don't miss that. That's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. Yeah. It's going to be as wild as it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. Okay, let's get crazy.
Another song that we just wrote.
No, that's Prince, ain't it? Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts. Ain't gonna let the elevator bring us down. Oh, let's go. Let's go. We just wrote a Prince song. What the fuck? What is this shit?
Oopsies.
Oopsies. Are you actually 31 years old, Greg? Is that what that shirt means?
No, I'm actually 36, man. I'm an old fucker.
Damn. I feel sorry for our new listeners on Spotify and all that shit because they're like, we can't see this shit. And
all over the streaming platforms.
Yeah, we're available on all streaming platforms. But if you want to get if you want to get the full experience, come on the Pink Sock and check me out.
Yeah, because Clive Jackson said he had a great time in it last week.
Yeah, Clive Jackson loves coming on the Pink Sock.
He does.
Was it last week? Yeah.
Yeah,
it was last
week.
You know. Sorry.
I don't
I know what's
remember.
happened since, but yes, it was only last week.
Yeah, I know he was on the show, but was it last week or the week after?
Fucking Gorak's over
Last
here like,
week.
we had Clive Jackson on the show last year. That was last week.
So that episode you watched, guys, was it was a repeat. We just edited it.
Even though we mentioned comments and shit.
We video edited that whole thing. So that interview that he was doing, we stole it from Kathy.
Yeah, that wasn't even
Sorry,
our
Kathy.
interview. We just like used unused footage.
No.
Yeah.
We pay Connect with nothing to edit that video for us.
Hey, Connect makes the same amount as I do on this show then. But
Did you
yeah,
catch
Pink Sock Pod- we are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, all that shit. But if you want the full experience, watch it live on YouTube. Who doesn't like coming on a Pink Sock? I mean, I've limited how many times I come on a Pink Sock to once a week because it can get addictive.
That's how I got that rash.
I love you, Greg. I mean that in like a heterosexual kind of way. Robert Rowe turns 46.
36. I turned 46 on Wednesday. Time flies. Yes, that is so
Happy
true,
birthday
Mr.
for
Rowe.
then.
Time does fly. Like I just realized I'm turning 30 this year. Like what happened to
I find time flies when you hit 30 anyway. So there you go.
It does, yeah.
I thought time started flying after high school, like when I graduated. Cause like I don't feel like a whole decade and like more fucking past me already. Like it doesn't feel like 12 years has passed. Like
Before you know it, then
It's
you're
like-
in your 40s.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
hitting
hitting
Pink
that.
Sock, and I'm still.
You'll see me in the aged care place. Do you guys have StreamYard and YouTube? Because I got a podcast. I need
Greg, by that time you're gonna have two podcasts. You're gonna have this one and your own, which is gonna be more successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be bigger than Ryan's.
It's gonna be you're gonna be like as big as Joe Rogan because you look like him. People get confused. They'll be like, "What show am I watching?"
Why is he in the nursing home? He shouldn't be.
Dude, you're younger than Rogan. If Rogan's in better shape than you by the time you reach that age, there's a problem.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, I don't know. How old is Rogan? Because that dude's, I think he's almost 50.
Oh, is he?
He'd be in
And
his,
he's
he'd be in
fucking
his
ripped.
50s, I think.
Oh, he's still young enough to come on a Pink Sock. Speaking of,
That's so true.
Am I the only one that hates it when like you're watching porn? Right? Hear me out. This is a me and Gorak kind of thing. Come back, Naomi. Okay, Gorak. Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it when you're watching pornography? Okay, and you're like really into it. You're almost finishing, and then position change. You see the guy's butthole, and you're like, no, and you start pushing it back in so you don't finish. Does that happen to you?
I don't know. You froze in my end.
Hold on, Naomi. Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, it's on Gorak's end.
Can you repeat
it
Yeah.
for me?
Okay, I will repeat it. Don't you hate it when you are watching pornography, Gorak? This is intimate between you and me. Don't you hate when you're watching pornography and you're getting into it and you're almost done, and then position change, you see the guy's butthole, and you're like, oh no! And you start like trying to push the shit back in so you don't finish. Does that happen to you?
No.
Oh, well, hasn't happened to me either. Hi, Naomi.
Hiya.
Did you press the mute button?
Just a random
No,
thought.
heard everything.
Okay. See,
Ah,
Greg, I don't
shit.
know.
Yeah,
I don't know
she's
what the issue is.
she's such a mother. She has to hear everything.
I
Greg,
do hear everything that's going on.
I don't know what the
Damn
issue
it.
is, but I think we've summed it down to the connection issues on your end. So I
Is
don't
it
know.
my end?
Yeah, because Naomi
I don't
can hear you,
know.
and everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody in the chat
usually
can.
it's mine.
Sometimes it's mine because like I changed my connection and I'm directly connected into my laptop now,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't skip around like that.
Well, let me
But it's
fix it.
okay.
I'll just throw it outside the window.
It's all right, dude. It's
Yeah.
live. It happens. Everybody in the chat's having a good time. I just wanted to figure
Yeah,
out.
everybody
I wanted
is.
to make sure it wasn't my end because it's something that I could fix. You know what I mean?
I need to steal your connection.
Holy shit! Renee has to go do some lamp business. Does that mean like she's like like walking up to a lamp in the streets and
Is
like,
that
hey,
like that
lamp?
lamp thing, like in that movie Ghost or something? When they do that crafting
Lamp
thing?
business sounds like she runs a genie business. Like, hey, you want a genie?
It does,
Fucking,
yeah.
she sells lamps.
Yeah. Rub it. Like
Just rub it. I tell women that's actually my pickup line. Like, rub it, see what
yeah.
happens.
So yeah, I'm half freezing. I'm
Rub
not
it and
to
make a
go.
wish.
What's wrong? What's up, Greg?
Oh, Andy's will say that I'm freezing.
Yeah, you're freezing a little bit on my end, but it's nothing major. But I don't know if we're freezing on your end.
Am I freezing?
You're
You
not
did
freezing,
then.
but I don't know if we are on your end because maybe your connection's good enough for you, but not good enough for us. I
It's
don't know.
lagging.
Well,
Give
hey,
me a
Greg, how
second.
about
Let me I'll do this.
bye? That was Greg. That was a lot of fun. There he is.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Hello, Bellin. Hello, Renee. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Anders, Robert Rowe, Just the Facts, everyone in the chat. You guys are fucking amazing. For those of you that are listening to this on Spotify, we do have a live chat going. We are live occasionally, usually on Mondays, but sometimes we might be pre-recorded. Depends. At least our interviews are going to be pre-recorded.
Don't say that.
So well, sometimes we got to do it, man. But
It's a fucking secret, dude.
There's a pink sock lamp as well. Pink sock fairies creation lamp.
Oh, nice. Get a pink sock lamp with like a unicorn. Have the unicorn wearing a pink sock over its face with holes in its eyes, like it's going to rob a bank.
Rub it 5 times and you'll get a pink sock out of your lamp.
That's what I tell the ladies. Rub it 3 times and you'll get a pink sock.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, baby. We need to start our own, like, remember those 1-900 numbers or whatever they were, where it was like call us and talk to the sensual ladies. Like you get to talk to like these women and they're like, hi, take your pants off or something. I don't know how they talk. I never called the number, but
Cool. You sound professional.
I like how the show gets really crazy at times and Gorak's all for it, and other times he's like, good for you.
Yeah, man. Nah, it'll be like, so ladies, did you want this pink sock experience? You can call us at 1-800-PINK-SOCK. And no, dude, come on, man, we'll get canceled now.
No, it's male breasts. Male breasts are fine. Female breasts aren't. That's how it is in the world. Don't you?
Smell
Yeah.
breast with the carpet rug on your chest.
See, I fucking hate. Okay, this is a great segue. I hate the fact that like women can't show their tits on social media and shit, but men can show their tits. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Because like you can have a dude that has double D titty and he can shave it and it looks like a woman's titty, but he can show it because it's attached to a man.
Yeah.
Free the nipple.
You have a point there.
Free the nipple. I'm actually going to go one step further and I'm going to start a whole new movement called Free the Clitoris.
Sounds like a horror movie.
release the clitoris, and it like fucking comes out of the water and starts eating things. Free the clitoris. No, I never understood why nudity is even a bad thing. Like, I get it, like intercourse on television shouldn't be a thing, but like a boob,
that's
or
how
like
we were brought to this earth.
yeah, like a boob shouldn't be bad on TV. A little moose knuckle every now and again shouldn't be bad. A camel toe, like I understand straight like pornography on TV, at least not on daytime TV. Like anything after 9 p.m. is fine. Like Howard Stern hours. But like, why can't we free the titty? Like, why? And what don't make sense is I was on TikTok the other day, okay, and I had a video removed, and I fought it because I said the word penis in the video. Well, they finally put it back on, but I'm like, you guys do realize that there's a video on TikTok, quite a few, where you can see somebody's whole fucking ass, damn near asshole, and you can see woman damn near like whole nipple, which is fine, it's beautiful, but I can't say penis.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I see that a lot on TikTok as well. You like
Yeah.
see like women in like skimpy dresses, and they're like, "Why am I single?" Well, because you're a scamp.
I don't mind that, but you don't take me off for saying penis.
Hey, Royce. Royce in the house.
I saw a video of this woman. She was bent over, like lifting weights. Now, I wasn't sexualizing her by any means, but my video had just gotten taken down, so I was a little bitter at this time. And she bent over to lift weights, and you could see her fucking cracking, dude. Like you could see all the tools she was working with. Like I could have performed a fucking colonoscopy on this girl. Just like,
so you
like,
say she's working with all the tools. Like,
yeah,
wow, she
you
had a
could see
vibrators or
everything.
what?
No, you could see everything. The whole meat and veg was right there, dude. Like you could see it all. And I'm like, and I can't say penis on TikTok. What the fuck?
Maybe if you're at the gym working out, you should say it.
Well, it was just weird. It was weird to me. Like, I'm all for.
Like, you don't say it.
I am all for like, I'm all for nudity of all sexes from the waist up. From the waist down, it should be on nighttime television, but it should be allowed. Like, I don't know if it's Australia or what, but there is a country that does have a news channel where the women tell the news naked.
Oh, naked news?
Yeah, is that Australia? Is that Australia that has naked news, Gorak?
I'm pretty sure it will be either America.
Not America.
Or maybe Europe.
It would have to be Europe because in America, that's not going on TV. That's going on Pornhub.
I'm not sure where.
Yeah.
Anders, I find it ironic that Anders was like, Mike said the P word, transmission will break down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then everybody was freezing.
Yeah.
Anders fucked with the broadcast.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Anders fucked with the broadcast. Let's bring on, we have just the facts in the chat. If you want to join us, brother, go ahead. I'd love for you to join this discussion and hear your take on nudity on television. Because that would be like, I want to hear what other people have to say, but like, I believe at least from the waist up should be allowed to be on daytime television. The waist down should be saved for like when the kids are asleep. Huh?
So Naked News is a Playboy TV network.
Oh, okay. I thought there was actually a Naked News network though in Australia or some shit. It might not be on like regular TV, but I thought.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid. Now, don't judge me because you guys might not have had this channel, but I remember when I was a kid, I would turn on the Discovery Channel and like you couldn't find like boobs were not allowed on TV when I was a kid at all. Like you had to cover up unless it was the Discovery Channel. There was a show on there that took place in Africa.
Yeah.
And these women had their titties all hanging out and uncensored, and the dudes had this stick attached to their dick. It was some wild shit. And it was on daytime television. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And I never understood what the stick on the dick was for. That sounds like a weird rhyme. Stick on the dick. Boobs are, I mean, women control the world because they got tits. Men are easy characters.
That sounds like a game.
Stick on the dick.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Stick on the dick.
sounds like a video game.
Oh my god! I just looked up stick.
Yeah. So naked news is an American thing. So there you go. Boobs are dangerous. Yes, I will agree with Danny there.
Well, I just looked up like to find out what the stick is for. So I looked up stick on the dick Africa, and I got a lot of porn. So I don't think I'm ever gonna find out what that's for. Because I looked up stick on the dick Africa, and it literally popped up. BBC was the first video that popped up.
All right.
And there is no stick on his dick, at all. Like there is no stick at all on that. It's just all.
You sure it wasn't Pinocchio? Well, you sure it wasn't Pinocchio? What's his name? Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, lie to me. Did you know they actually made a Pinocchio porn? It's called Pinocchio. It's called a what is it called? Pinocchio or some shit like that. He actually, like, whenever he lies, his dick gets bigger. And the woman's like, lie to me, Pinocchio, lie to me. And it, like, fucking, I didn't watch it, but it exists.
I'm going to look this up.
I'd actually be surprised if something like that didn't exist.
Oh, it does. And so does Buttman and Throbbing Return of the Poker. Buttman and Throbbing Return of the Poker is a real fucking movie. It's a gay porn. And it's fantastic. I prefer the sequel though. It's art. It's artwork.
I prefer the prequel.
The prequel. Back in the butt cave.
Yeah. I was checking my Instagram stories before I came on here, and Ryan Roxy liked the pink sock one that I reposted up on my page.
Awesome.
So Ryan, I know you're not watching or listening and shit. Follow me.
Actually, Ryan, he loves Pink Sock. It's his favorite. Like he listens to it while he's jogging. Typically.
That's sorry, dude.
No, I'm just making shit up at this point.
I don't care. Because, like, if he's going to be listening to us rant and while he's jogging and he heard something that will make him go off, like, what happens if you swerve off the jogging rail and, I don't know, hit a tree?
Dude, he supports this show, so he knows. He knows what to expect.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really have a choice, does he?
I wonder, like, since, like, we have supporters within that camp on and off, I wonder if Alice has ever listened to this show. Just a random tune in. Like, I wonder.
Well, the interesting things that he watches, I wouldn't be surprised.
Alice loves old school horror movies. And, like,
yeah. He does.
Hey, Royce, if you want to join us, the link is in the chat. Just the facts. If you want to join us, the link is in the chat. If anyone wants to join us, you guys can jump in here. We'll talk about nudity on television or whatever. Like, I just
swimming inside a pink sock.
And Renee wants to know how our days are going.
My day's going on. I woke up literally at like 11, and I'm like, "Fuck, I gotta get ready for the show." And then I got out of bed at like 11:40. I'm like, "Shit, I gotta get coffee. I was running around, and I'm like, "What are we gonna talk about?" And I'm like, "Well, shit, let's talk about pink socks, porn, and nudity on television. Why not?" I'm on a rant. I get these. My thoughts are weird. Like they'll pop up in my head, and then if I don't get them out, they'll either disappear or they'll just build up, and they'll get more fucked up and more fucked up. So I gotta let it out before it gets worse.
What, your pink sock?
Yeah, I gotta let my pink sock out before it gets worse. So every year, do you have to get a new Cleveland shirt with a different age on it?
Yeah, I got like 2 at the moment. Yeah, this one, I got another one in my wardrobe.
Do you guys in Australia think our football teams are a bunch of pussies because we wear helmets?
Helmets?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Like people in
Guys, watch
Australia.
it.
Yeah, people in Australia do not wear helmets when they play football. Them people are fucking beasts. They wear shorts. They go outside in fucking shorts, no knee pads,
Singlets.
singlets. And the team they're fighting is a bunch of kangaroos. Like it's real. It's don't look it up, but it's real.
Yeah. No, I've got another Cleveland jersey, and then it was so I got it like maybe 2 years ago for Christmas. It was so funny. My brother bought me that jersey, and then like it was coming because he got it from America, and when he bought it, I heard on the news he just got traded to a different team. So when I got that jersey, he doesn't play for that team no more.
But would that be a rare jersey though? Since he's
No.
okay, I didn't know how that works. I don't know anything about
I
sports.
got. Hang on. Can you see the name at the back?
Allen. I don't know who Allen is.
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He's got a massive afro on his head. It's fucking awesome.
So he's just me. He's got a giant afro on his head. He's just me, dude. What are you talking about?
I'll see if I can pop up a picture.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to help Pink Sock out with promoting, you no longer have to share a bunch of links. We have allmylinks.com/Pink Sock Podcast. You can go on there, and it has all of our social medias. It has all of where you can find us streaming, all of that shit. Everything's there. And if we add anything, it will be there. I did that because like I'm tired of having to like promote separately our streaming and everything when everything's just right there at all my links. You can just follow us on everything there. I also have one for myself because I made a personal one. I'm not done making it yet, so I'm not going to post it yet. But I do have one coming for me as well. Because I'm trying to keep my like personal stuff separate. I'm going to promote on here, but I'm trying to keep my personal shit separate than Pink Sock stuff. Even though on YouTube I can't change it. Yeah. What I'm going to try to do eventually is Gorak, you need to make a Facebook page, like a fan page. And then we can connect Pink Sock to your page as well. Oh, Just the Facts is going to be joining us in a minute. He has to update his camera software. So he's going to be joining us. We're just going to have our random discussions. I love how we can have people like that. I'll add that to our show this week. We got to support things. Thank you. Thank you, Robert Rowe. It's just an easier way. You don't have to say, hey, follow Pink Sock on this, this, and this. It's just all there. Everything. And it's got our pocket casts on there. It's got Breaker on there. It's got everything. It's got our socials. It's just a perfect place to go. And for those of you that want to make an All My Links account for people, all you got to do is go to allmylinks.com, set up your email. You can log in with your email or make a login. And it's free, and you just add all the links that you have. And it's just easier that way.
Indeed. And pay up.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about making ourselves known on OnlyFans. I'm thinking about making a free Pink Sock OnlyFans and going live on there too. A lot is not showing up in the chat. None of Just the Facts comments and your link to come on. That's because, Royce, you're on Facebook. Just the Facts was posting his comments on YouTube. That's why. The links should be popping up, though, on my Facebook. If not, you're probably on my personal Facebook page, and I will personally send you right now the invite because I air this also on my personal Facebook page, and for some reason, StreamYard doesn't work with posting comments on personal pages. So if you want to be on the show and shit isn't popping up, either go on the Pink Sock Facebook page and watch this live and click on the link, or I'll send it to you personally. But please don't.
Right. So
also, before we I continue going further, guys, please help us out. Our buddy AC Slade had a friend die recently, Roger Siegel. I didn't mention that last episode. I feel bad for it. Roger Siegel died tragically. He does have a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses. Please click on the link and donate to that. It's in the description.
I'm pretty
below.
sure they already reached that goal already, to what I saw.
Okay. If they did, forget that. But if not, please donate. Royce, we're going to try to get Royce on the show. I just sent you a message, buddy. It's all there. Hey, what's up, Justin? Justin Sanford of Never Wake, good friend of mine. Go check out Never Wake. They're on Spotify and shit. He's been on the show before. He's going to be back. He's going to be back. What do you guys think of this idea? What do you think of Pink Sock going live on the second day of the week so that we can get more guests? Or should we just pre-record the interviews and go live on Mondays and just show the interview? I want all the fans to know. Now we just need Mike's All My Kinks. I do have all my kinks. That goes with all my links. I saw what you're doing there, Adam. You know my kinks, baby. You know my kinks.
That sounds like a rock album.
A rock album, allmykinks.com.
Yeah. So, okay, here's a picture of Jared Allen.
Who's that?
That's him. Look at that hair.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's immaculate.
I want hair like that.
Is it real? Go back.
Yeah, it's real. It's
No,
so
it's not.
funny.
It's one of them things that you put the band on your head, and that's where the hair's at. You ain't fooling me. I'm not starting that rumor. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's a
new
beautiful
host.
man. I'm not into sports, but
Our
I am now.
next guest.
For our next guest.
Yeah.
Dude, we should I'm not into sports, or I would get guests like that. I don't know much about sports.
Yeah.
So I can't really say a whole lot. But yeah, guys, tonight's gonna be Liddy Titty as well as this show, because I'm going to be invading Dabs with Dads. And I'm not just invading, I am now gonna be the guest co-host.
Nice.
I'm not gonna go into details, but there was drama with the last guy. And I don't know why they chose me, Matt. But
you look like a less drama guy.
I try to avoid drama at all costs. Yes, I am controversial at times, I'll admit. My sense of humor can be controversial. But when it comes down to it, I don't mean harm when I joke the way I do. I don't mean any harm in it. And if I offend anyone, if it's not directed at you, like with Robert, I love Robert Rowe, and we do tease him, he teases us. But if it ever gets too far, I would stop. But I don't know, I never mean harm with my jokes, so I try not to start any drama or any of that shit. If I'm not busting your balls, I don't like you. And if I am busting your balls, I probably still don't like you. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
If we unfollow you, that means we like you.
I don't know, dude. The world we live in is nuts. Knuckin' futs. Did I tell you guys about this? I have look who's in the house.
Royce is here.
I think this is weird because Royce in the House is his show.
Royce!
But Royce is actually in the house.
Yeah.
Oh man!
He's a
Boy, that light, that window behind me is really bright.
He's a member of the Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, wait, I got to get rid of something. That window behind me is really bright.
Oh, there he went. Bye, Royce. The chat.
I think he went to shut his curtains.
I think he did, and he accidentally left.
Yeah.
But he'll be back. Whenever I'm on Royce's show, I kind of feel bad because he has a set topic, and I try to stick to it. I try to be quiet, unlike on this show where I just go into fucked up tangents. But I try to be quiet and stick to topic, but we never do. We never do. And here he is. But I try to be quiet and stick to topic, but we never do. Hey,
and that's okay.
Hey, Royce, you got YouTube playing in the background. So I hear an echo. If you can pause your YouTube video real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can pause that YouTube video or Facebook, because we hear an echo.
Okay.
There we go. That's better.
Is this better?
Yeah. How you doing, Royce?
Yeah.
I'm doing okay.
I whenever I'm on your show, because I'm a very I'm out there. I try to let you guys talk, so that's why I'm quiet sometimes. And then I feel bad because I'll try.
I hadn't noticed. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try to stick to topic on your show, and then we just because you'll mention an artist that I like that's connected to that artist.
Right.
Next thing you know, we're going on a full fucking biography on a completely different artist.
Well, I don't really care to stick to topic, to be honest with you. I mean, I like it to just spread out,
Oh, I bet you do. So,
Yeah,
Royce,
no,
go
Mike.
ahead. We're gonna give you the floor real quick, Royce. Go ahead and promote yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi. YouTube channel, Royce in the House. I have multiple playlists. The big one is the live podcast where we talk about music, and we're trying to branch out there. We're on the second and third time around on certain bands and artists, and I just kind of finally concluded before the end of the year that just vinyl album unboxing is not sustainable. And that's why I was saying I like that we branch out. I've been branching out. I've done a Muhammad Ali show, and I did a Woodstock show, and I've been trying to pick shows that are not just vinyl album unboxing. Let's just talk about something, a fun topic. I've got several things I'm working on. I got several people I'm working on, and some of them have nothing to do with music. They're just fun topics, I've got a good friend. His name is Gary Bang, and he used to be the largest aftermarket supplier of Harley Davidson parts in the entire world. In fact, he wound up with the Bar and Shill logo. He used that on his packaging, the same Bar and Shill logo that Harley Davidson used, and they went to patent it, and they found out that he patented it. And there's a whole lot more to that story and how it turned out really well for Gary to give them their Bar and Shill logo. But anyway, make a long story short, I'm trying to branch out. I do have other playlists. I have my tours of famous places, and of course, being a contractor, I have a Royce Construction where I've got a lot of how-to videos. One of them just hit 1,000 views. And it's like a 8-minute video, just hit 1,000 views. And I've got my wife and I are both real estate agents too. And so I've got a Royce and Betty Eddings, the Eddings Group at Navigators Real Estate thing. So, but the ones that, and that also has a lot of tours in it as well. In fact, my Cayucas Walkabout, Cayucas, California, which is next to Morro Bay, it's got like 1.2 thousand views now. There's some fun videos in there away from the live podcast, just pre-recorded stuff. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of those, I'm working on a Cecil B. DeMille's the 10 Commandments. They filmed the first one of those 35 minutes from here in Guadalupe on the beach, and it was the largest movie set ever made. And so when it came time to tear it down, they just dug a big hole with bulldozers and pushed it all into the hole and covered it with sand. And so these artifacts, as the dunes shift and stuff, people are going out there and finding pieces of pharaohs and stuff like that, And so there's a lot of fun stuff going to be coming up, and appreciate you guys coming and watching. And Mike has been a fantastic co-host. We had a lot of fun last night. With Mike, there's always going to be a lot of laughs, so we have a great time. Thank you.
I try. I don't know, if you have stipulations on what's allowed to be talked, because some people don't like cussing on their show. So I try to watch myself on other people's shows. But
well, granted, it could get out of control, but I do it myself too. I mean, we're all human and we talk the way we talk. It's hard to be somebody completely different when you're on a show, Well,
I'll do respect though. I know that you don't give a shit that people know, but when we do your show, it's at night. So I hit my vape pen. You had your edibles. We had a little bit too much in us, probably.
Well, my best drink was the liqueur I was drinking over here on the side. A couple of double shots in there because it's just butterscotch liqueur, and you put it in like some hot, hot drink, and it's just like really good.
That sounds
I mean,
good.
very, very tasty.
Hey, Royce, I'm going to help you out if you're interested. I'll tell you how to do it, but
Okay.
it is a lot of work. So if you don't want to do it, I get it. But we did recently go on all streaming platforms. If you're interested in doing that with Royce in the house, I can show you how.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
It's actually free for anybody that
Okay.
runs a podcast. You just have to. What sucks, I had to do this. You have to download all of your episodes off YouTube, and then you have to convert them to MP3, which I can do for you and send it back to you if I have time. But convert it to MP3, or you can do it in StreamYard, because StreamYard has your shit saved. You can just download them in MP3. But you might want to get an external hard drive for that. And then you go on a website called anchor.fm, make an account, and then you have to do like your description and shit of the show. And then you have to upload each episode individually with the title and the description and the upload date and shit if you want to.
Okay.
And then you would just upload it that way, what season it is and what number of episodes.
Let me ask you a question. Like, even on StreamYard where I do mine, you get the option to go Facebook and StreamYard, or Facebook and YouTube. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the first couple of times I picked both. Why not? Right. Yeah. But then there was like two separate chats running that wound up. I don't think they ever wound up being combined. And so it was kind of a little bit odd. I don't know if
what happens is, and this is an issue I'm having and what you had in the chat.
Okay.
And whenever I stream on a personal Facebook page, it doesn't let me upload comments. So any comments that I put, like links and shit, doesn't go to my personal page. It goes to the actual pages, like the business pages, like my Mike Usenick fan page or whatever you want to call it, and the Pink Sock page, and then it goes to YouTube. For some reason, they don't do personal pages.
Gotcha. Okay. Right now I'm looking at the chat, and Anders just made a comment to me, but and that's the last thing on the chat. There's no place beneath it for me to type like I normally would if I wanted to respond.
Oh, that's because for some reason on StreamYard, if you're a guest, you can't leave a comment. I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't know why.
Sense.
I don't know why. You should be able to under your own name. I don't get it. But StreamYard is a somewhat new service, and they are updating every day, so they might change that.
Right.
They might change that.
Well, Anders, thank you for the comment. Feel free anytime to jump in. We try to have fun on the show. We're not as funny as Mike, but we get him on a lot, so. It raises the comedic level of all of us when Mike's on.
See, there's enough of me to go around. At least that's what I say in order.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's enough of me to go around. I mean,
yeah. And I just saw my friend Kate, and Kate, if you're listening, I can't type anything.
If you want to, I don't know. It's weird because you should be able to, because the way the chat works in StreamYard, you should be able to see everything on Facebook and YouTube. But when you're on Facebook, you can only see Facebook. When you're on YouTube, you can only see YouTube. It's weird.
Before I wasn't seeing half the chat posts, and then when I switched over to Facebook, now I can't comment, but I switched to Facebook but yet I'm in StreamYard, so it's a little bit weird.
Shit's weird. It's really odd. Yeah. It's off, but it's all right. It's all right.
Right.
But yeah, you can find this episode, Royce, on Spotify and shit tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I upload typically at night because that's when they allow me to download. It takes like hours before it's able to download, and then we upload it.
Yeah, Caitlin and I, we talked a little bit last night after the show, and a lot of people don't know, but we had a bet, and I don't know how I got sucked into this, but I did. And it was the Super Bowl, and I'm a old Niners fan, but I live in California, and the Rams are right there. When I first moved to California, the Rams were the team because I was living in Southern California. So I can't say that I'm not a fan of both, but I got to see a lot of Niners game. A friend of mine had season tickets, and so we made a bet. If the Rams won, I had to sing a Monkees song of Caitlin's choice on her show, and if and vice versa, if the Niners won, she had to sing a song on my show. So she picked The Last Train to Clarksville, and I haven't sung it yet, but I do have to sing The Last Train to Clarksville, and Caitlin's going to have that on her show, Caitlin's Corner.
That's awesome.
So,
Where can
I'm
we
kind
find
of semi looking forward to that.
where can we find Caitlin's Corner, by the way?
Caitlin, are you? Yeah, Last Train to Clarksville. Caitlin, tell the good folks where they can find your channel.
Ooh, we have a guest coming on.
What's that?
He's on
I was waiting-
speaker right now.
I was waiting for you to answer the phone, put it on speaker. I'm like, we have a guest right now. It's
Caitlin said, "Hang on," so she's getting the information.
Also, Royce, what might help you is on YouTube, you can actually change your URL to be like youtube.com/Royce in the house. So people don't have to type in youtube.com/U895G7.
Right. Okay.
Because it's YouTube's a pain in the ass when it comes to that. But I think
Right.
you
Yeah.
should have enough subscribers to do it. I think it's after 200 subscribers or something that you can do it.
Yeah, I just hit 260. It's a long climb to the top, let me tell you.
Oh, it is, dude. I feel you. We started around the same time, didn't we?
Maybe so. Yeah.
2 years ago is when I started.
Yeah, I would have started about that long. No, not quite that long ago. I was making videos out on my construction site, and so when I finally did this, I created a Royce Construction, playlist, and put them all on there. But I don't. In some of those are 2 years old, but they came in later. They didn't come in right after I made them. But I've got a bunch of other stuff to load. We made a trip to Europe, and I made quite a few little videos there. And I did post a couple. I talked last night about, I made 2 with Jordan the Lion. Jordan the Lion was over there when we were there. And we did a video in the alley. And they say this may be the first rock video ever made. And Bob Dylan made it. And Bob Dylan was being criticized for using foul language, popular topic, using foul language in his video, Subterranean Homesick Blues. And he wasn't using foul language, and he wanted to prove it. So he went into this alley in London, and he had all these big white placards that he was holding with the words to his song. And while the song played, he'd hold up those words, toss it, hold up the next batch of words, toss it. And there was no curse words in that video. And so Jordan the Lion said, hey, let's go make this video on Subterranean Homesick Blues in this alley over here. So we went over there. And so Jordan's phone is playing that video of Bob Dylan. I'm filming that video as well as Jordan and I, and the alley's behind us. And if you look in that alley, even where the construction is taking place, it hadn't changed in like 50 years. It looked just like it did when Bob Dylan made the video. But it was a lot of fun. And then we went over to the a separate video, and these are in my Tours of Famous Places playlist. We went over to another and made another video at Harry Nilsson's flat where Mama Cass had died, and also where Keith Moon had died, in the same room in his flat in London. And we made a video there and talked about that a little bit. And they're short videos; they're not long videos. But anyway, but it was fun. Jordan's a super nice guy,
That kind of reminds me of, and this is a little crazier. Frank Zappa got in a problem because, similar to Bob Dylan, he got, like, a lot of people went after him for his album Jazz from Hell, and that was the first album to have a parental advisory sticker for explicit lyrics, and it was an all instrumental album.
Oh, okay. It's all instrumental, yeah. Explicit lyrics, right?
Yeah, he got an explicit lyrics parental advisory sticker on an all instrumental album, and to add freaking insult to injury, Frank Zappa had a song on that album that was banned from radio play due to its lyrical content.
How does that happen? I don't get it.
And it was an instrumental song.
Maybe it was the one with him sitting on a toilet on the cover. I don't know.
What's hilarious about Frank Zappa, he actually said that in an interview. He's like, a lot of people don't know what I do. All they know is I sit on a toilet.
I'm moving my head back and forth, trying to block the light coming through my window. There we go. That's a little bit okay. Anyway,
if I tried doing that, I'd look like this the whole show.
You're right. Maybe
I'd look really uncomfortable
behind my head. Last night I pulled a few Alice Cooper albums out because the show was on Alice Cooper and his life, and there was the one that came out with the pink panties in it, right? And somebody said, "Oh, is that the one with the pink panties?" I go, "Yeah," and I'm searching, and they're not in there. Well, this morning I come in and I sit at my desk and I feel something under my foot, and I look down and there's the pink panties. They fell out of the album on the floor. We're laying on the floor while I was looking for them.
See, that album
That's
came
brilliant.
Now, if I was Mike, I would have said I put them on. I tried them on before the show and forgot to take them off or something.
I was
maybe had them hiding just below my sweatpants and it showed the top of them.
Royce, you stole my joke. I was going to say the panties came in blue and pink, and they both felt the same.
The Pink Panty Podcast.
Yeah, pink socks.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Pink Sock needs to do. We need to make panties.
I don't know.
We should make panties. We should
As
make
long as they're not flammable.
We should make whitey tighties that are pink, and on the back it says "My other sock is pink." My other pink sock is a podcast. So hey, Royce, you like my new shirt?
Let's see. What does it say? You asked me about my pink sock. Yeah, that's pretty good. Last night I was looking for a nice button-down shirt to wear and stuff, and I went, "What the fuck am I doing? It's Alice Cooper." So I put my Sons of Anarchy on.
Well,
I thought that would be way more appropriate.
I didn't have a chance to go through my because I do have an Alice Cooper vinyl collection, but I didn't have a chance to go through that.
I don't know if any of you ever watched the movie Sons of Anarchy. It was a series.
Yeah,
it was a takeoff of the Hell's Angels.
No.
It was like my favorite show. I love that show. Anyway, so I had to buy a little bit of stuff here. Hoodies.
By the way, from my understanding, the Hells Angels really hate it when you go into their clubhouse wearing a cut that has Sons of Anarchy on it. They hate that.
Well, you know what? And I've heard the same thing, but let me tell you something. Two of my neighbors were really good friends with the Hells Angels. My next door neighbor was getting in a lot of trouble in high school, and he joined the military. And he joined the military because his dad was career military, and all of his friends joined the Hells Angels. And when he came out, he became a police officer in San Francisco, and his friends were all Hells Angels. In fact, one of them, Fuki, helped Sonny Barger incorporate all of them under one, corporation, the Hells Angels. And so Pete remained friends with them. In fact, they gave him a chopper once, and he had a good time because that was back during the Summer of Love and everything. And the Hells Angels became hugely popular, and at that time because they had their long hair before anybody else did. And they just fit right in and became, kind of iconic. And Pete was friends with them, but at the same time, they were sending him down to the Golden Gate Park, where Janis Joplin and all these great bands, Grateful Dead, they were all playing free shows, free concerts at that park, and everybody was on LSD, and they'd send Pete down there undercover.
Oh shit!
and Pete was a character, We'd go to Mexico surfing. We'd drive down northern Baja, and the first thing he did would try to, like I said, ex-cop, try to find somebody to go into town and buy pot for him and bring it back.
Damn, dude. You lived a hell of a life.
I don't go any further than that, but so my other neighbor around the corner, he's got this insane business. He makes the biggest scissor lifts in the world, the only ones that can go all the way up and work on the biggest jumbo jets and stuff, and he sells them all over the world, has warehouses over in Europe and stuff, and he's super good buddies with the Hells Angels. He donates to all their causes. He furnishes 100 bikes every year to their bike racing thing. And okay, back to Sons of Anarchy. That's why I brought this whole thing up. And when it was the last episode, the one that Jax got killed in, very last episode, season 7, he got all his Hell's Angels buddies got together with him, and they watched the last episode together. They actually loved the show. You know, they don't love it when you walk in wearing, you know, Sons of Anarchy colors, but they did love the show.
Yeah, they love the show, but it's disrespectful to go into a
Well, yeah,
wearing the cut of somebody else that doesn't even exist.
yeah, that's true. But like I said, they did love the show, and you know, I've met a few of those guys. In fact, when Fuki used to come down from the Oakland club, my next door neighbor Pete's good buddy that he grew up with, I'd be out on the construction site, and Pete called me saying, "Hey, how come you didn't answer your phone an hour ago?" I go, "Why? What's up, Pete?" He goes, "Well, Fuki and the guys came down, and we went out to sushi down at the Carlton, and we called you and invited you." And it's like twice I got that call and missed it, you know. And that would have been fun. He goes, "You should have seen the look on these older women's faces when these Hell's Angels walked into this pretty posh restaurant wearing their colors. It's like dropping their glasses on the floor and stuff, you know."
One man that I give applause to because he had balls, agree with what he did or not, Hunter S. Thompson, when he wrote the book Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
He got in a lot of trouble within the Hell's Angels for that book because he almost got beat to death.
Right.
Because he stepped in between an angel and his wife.
Right.
Because the Hell's Angels beat his wife, and Hunter came in between them, and he got the shit beat out of him.
Wow.
I'm like, did you hear that story?
Not this one. I've heard some others, you know.
Yeah, Hunter was on a TV show being interviewed, and they brought the Hell's Angel on that was there, and they were both talking back and forth. And Howard pretty much called the guy a coward for beating his old lady, like on television. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I don't care about you guys being intertwined, and you have to defend one another. But if you defend somebody who beats their wife, you're a coward, is what he said on television.
Wow. Well, you know, I used to ride. I had 3 Harley Davidsons back before the recession. I came out with no Harley Davidsons. But anyway, I used to ride one of my bikes to the Laughlin River Run in Laughlin, Nevada every year. You know, I don't know if you know much about Laughlin, but there's all along the Colorado River, there's casinos, you know, and my friends all like to play at Harrah's, so they all had Harrah's cards, and a couple of them were high rollers, so we'd get all kinds of special treatment when we went. But anyway, so I'm 2002. I'm at Harrah's. We all are, and the Mongols, a motorcycle club out of LA. Well, they're kind of nationwide now too, but they were kind of at war with the Hell's Angels. You know,
they still are, from my understanding.
They still are. But and they, under some corporate name, they booked all these rooms. So here I'm at Harrah's. It's like me and the Mongols, you know. And down at the Flamingo, you know, a few casinos down is where the Hell's Angels always stayed. So they were down there, and Sonny Barger was down there signing his autographing his new book for people. So I'm sitting in there. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm playing a quarter machine, you know, about to pass out, you know, drinking all night and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear pop, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck? It sounds like gunshot. You know, I know it's not firecrackers. I know what guns sound like. And I looked around, and nobody was moving. And all of a sudden it happened again. And a human wave of bleeding people came rushing past me. I mean, there was blood at my feet on the carpet, you know, and the Hell's Angels had found out that one of their members on the way to the run was shot and killed by the Mongols while he was on his bike. You know, I think they opened the van doors or something and blew him off his bike, something like that. So anyway, I'm like right in the middle of this craziness. And in fact, I have pictures of it in the whole story written up and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm right in the middle of all this craziness, and people are running back and forth, bleeding and trying to get on elevators. There's blood pouring off their arms and down their bodies and stuff like that. And some people died too. And I guess Undercover was anticipating something, you know, Las Vegas Metro. They were almost instantly running through, screaming, everybody on the ground, face down. So I'm laying on the ground, and I reach up and hit the button to collect my ducats. And so I get held in a room for 16 hours. You know, I'm wearing my favorite Flames Skulls, whatever shirt, you know, and they don't know, you know, who I am. Am I in one of these groups or just some idiot in the wrong place at the wrong time, which was the case. But anyway, so I get held for 16 hours with a bunch of other people that were on the floor, and Las Vegas Metro is interviewing everybody to find out who the hell we are. And so after 16 hours, I sit down, you know, I'm like all weary and stuff. And they're like, okay, who are you? I'm like, Roy Settings. What do you do? I'm a contractor. Well, what are you doing here? I come here every year. So it's a river run. You know, several 100,000 people come here every year. They go, okay, get the hell out of here. I was kind of pissed off being talked to so rude. You know
what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Have you ever seen that episode of that 70s show where they accidentally ended up illegally in Canada and they held them for hours? Leo's sitting there, who's played by Tommy Chong, and the Canadian Border Patrol's like, "What's your business in Canada?" And he's like, "What's your business in Canada?" And they're like, "Well, what are you doing in Canada?" He's like, "What are you doing in Canada?" Like he refused to answer any questions and asked them the same one back.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't see that. But so what was kind of crazy though is like, of course, you could, you know, right outside the motel room windows were some bodies that were covered up in the parking lot and stuff like that. The whole thing was kind of weird. But so I just assumed Sonny Barger was no longer at the Flamingo autographing books, right? So, you know, I'm kind of bummed I didn't get my autographed book the day before. Of all the things I could be bummed about, I'm worried about my autographed book. So we walked out of the Flamingo. We're walking from casino to casino. There's little concerts playing in the parking lots, you know, surrounded by bikes and stuff. And we get to the Flamingo, and lo and behold, there's Sonny Barger sitting there autographing books. So I got all these pictures of me and Sonny together, and my arm around him, and you know, I'm bent down with a huge shit-eating grin on my face, smiling, you know, like he's my best friend on the whole wide world. And I've got all these pictures with me and Sonny, and I have, of course, the autographed book. So anyway, that's the story. And I had a lot of fun on those runs. You know, a friend of mine got us ZZ Top tickets, and that was just a fantastic show. And another friend of mine that was kind of a high roller, and they gave him front row to everything. He's the kind of guy, if we wanted to go see a fight in Vegas, they would send a jet to pick us up because it was Dave, and Dave spent, you know, enough money to buy the jet. But anyway, so got a lot of special stuff because of some of these guys. But so we're back there, and Dave's got front row tickets to see. Let's see, who was that? Not the Grateful Dead. That was with Jay. Jay only had 2 tickets. Dave was bummed. It was so hard to. What was the name of that damn band? Anyway, we're sitting in the front row, and there's all these, like, I think I mentioned this last night, all these like really drunk people dancing around with beers in their hand right next to us up by the stage. And they keep spilling beer on my buddy Dave, who's at the end of the aisle. And he goes and complains, and they make them all go sit down. And 10 minutes later, they're back spilling beer on him. And by the second song, Dave just stomped out of the show. I sat there and watched it by myself. Yeah, but anyway, there was a lot of fun trips back there. We'd take off and go all over the place on our bikes, you know. Go down to Lake Havasu. We'd go up to Oatman, a little mining town up in the mountains, you know, and all the donkeys would just walk up and down the streets, you know.
Have you ever been to a donkey show?
I've been to Mexico a lot of times, and I know what you're talking about, but the closest I've come is watching The Godfather when they were in Cuba.
For those of you that don't know what a donkey show is, please don't Google it.
No.
It's not literally just a donkey show then.
Oh no, a donkey show it's like a sporting event. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'll let the cat out of the bag.
Donkey punch.
I'm sorry for interrupting your story with the donkey show, but it's kind of like a donkey punch, like Greg said. It's when you pay like $10, I think, at the door, and you go in, and it's like a little sporting event. You sit down in your chair, you get your popcorn, you get your hot dog, and you sit there, and you see stirrups, and you're like, what the fuck's that for? And then you see this lovely lady come out with a donkey, and you're like, oh, it's a magic show. And it is. It really is a magic show. She gets under the stirrups and is sitting there, and this donkey jumps up, and she's naked, and this donkey starts riding this woman. And yeah, it's
a very different donkey show to what I know of. Donkey rides on beaches in the UK.
Well, in
little-
Mexico,
Oh, let me
donkeys ride
listen.
bitches. They don't ride on beaches. They ride on bitches.
Bitches. From riding
Oh
on
my
beaches
God.
to bitches.
So yeah, back to your
That's
story, Royce.
crazy. But I heard about this stuff a long time ago. A lot of the older guys that I knew growing up in Vegas area, they'd take their cars down to get them upholstered in Tijuana. It was like $160. New seats, new door panels. You pay another $80. They do your headliner. You'd come back with beautiful tuck and roll or diamond tuck interior, and they'd come back with all these crazy stories like that. And they say you got to take your own thread, though. They use cheap thread; it'll start coming out right away. So they'd buy this real thick thread and make the guys at the upholstery shops use it. And they say, and you got to watch them too, because they'll stuff the seats with weed and then come and cut your seats open in the middle of the night and take all the weed out of it when you get home. So all kinds of the stories were just endless about trips to Mexico.
And Royce over here, he heard that and he went to the event and started cutting the seats himself.
It's got to be here somewhere.
You know what always confused me when I was a kid? Speaking of weed, people would always say, like, look out in the candy. People are putting drugs in the candy. Nobody's giving out edibles. That shit's expensive.
Yeah. Well, if you go on Wednesday, this one place down here has a sale, on Wednesday where it's like buy two get one free of these damn things, and
I love them things. I had those when I was out there. Arizona sells them too.
And these are made by Wild, and it's called Wild Wednesday, and that's what we tried down there. On Wild Wednesday.
They're pretty
And
good.
and my wife needs them to sleep. She has a hard time sleeping, and so that's kind of why we started getting them.
Well,
but we also have fun.
The early days of edibles, like when I say early days, this was only like 10 years ago, but weed has only recently started being this acceptable. It used to be the edibles, you'd eat it and it tastes like straight weed. Now it's dangerous because it tastes like the candy.
It tastes like really good candy, like all the healthy vitamins today.
Yeah, so you're eating this candy and then you start feeling the effects 40 minutes later. Now you got a whole box of candy.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while and you forget about it, and all of a sudden you can't understand why you feel so fucked up.
Well, yeah, in the words
what's going
of a lot
on?
of
Why is my mind darting around?
Well, what they always said is edibles don't start working until you start talking shit on them. Like you're like, this ain't shit. That's when they start working.
Right.
That's when they start working.
Good point.
Speaking of, by the way, I'm going to be on Dabbing with Dads tonight. It's actually on YouTube now. Just look up Dabbing with Dads without the H and with. It's WIT.
How do you spell it?
Hold on. I'm going to put it in the chat here and I'll pop it up.
Oh, okay.
The show's Dabs with Dads, but this is the channel's name.
Dabs with, I see it. Dabbing.
Yeah, Dabbing with Dads. I'm not a dad and I don't dab, but I'm on the show. I'm a co-host today.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Now, what is Dabbing with Dads about? I mean, it's
a cannabis related show.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
We don't always just discuss cannabis, but it's very cannabis themed.
Right.
Matt, who's the host, Matt Cooper.
Cooper, Anders is talking about a good brownie, and when we were over in Europe a couple of years ago, and we were in Amsterdam, and they were going, well, if you're looking for that, you'd find the most narrow alleys, and there's little coffee shops in them, and all those coffee shops. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I was talking about some of my travel videos, tours of famous places on my YouTube channel. I have one of me being in a head shop in Amsterdam, and I'm asking the guy about all these different kinds of weed and hashish, and it was actually kind of fun in there, And we did get some brownies, I have to admit, And
I have to make an announcement randomly, Royce. I just received a text. Dabs with Dads has been postponed until next Monday.
Oh, okay.
He just found out some personal problems within his family, and he's got to take care of it. So we're not doing it tonight.
Yeah,
it's all right. I'm free next week. I'm just going to be tired of shit probably. Oh, we're being joined with Just the Facts.
Oh, good.
I would like to go back to an earlier topic because I really want to know your guys' thoughts on this. What do you
Okay.
guys think of in 2022? It is still unacceptable for women to show their nipples, but men can.
Well, I think I prefer the European model. You know?
Like I think
I think, you know, we're looked at, but a lot of the European countries look at America as a pretty prudish country, you know,
yeah.
and, you know, the religious right is very strong and stuff like that. I'm not complaining about that, but I'm just saying that, you know, there's a lot of things that we can't do here, you know, that they do all over Europe as far as like nudity and breast nudity and stuff like that. And, yeah, I think that it should be allowed myself, you
Well,
know.
I think anything
That
from the
must come as
waist,
a big surprise to everybody.
as I say, anything from the waist up should be allowed on daytime television. Anything from the waist down should be allowed on after 9 p.m. Well,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do you think, Dan? You
yeah.
got
Dan,
all
how are you, Dan? How you doing?
I'm still holding up, I guess.
Oh, good.
Now, as far as the nudity thing, I think, you know, I remember the old days, we used to have microwave TV. And if you aimed your microwave dish just right and you try to unscramble, you might see a boob every now and then. That was the big thing. You know, and I think, you know, if you show it all the time, it loses, you know, its uniqueness. You know,
Right.
leave something for the imagination. Imagination is a great thing to have.
Well,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, obviously I'm younger than you. We had AOL dial-up internet, so you had to like masturbate in sections because it would keep buffering.
Well, that's terrible.
Well,
and then
Or you
you'd be
use
in
up
the
all
room-
the data.
You'd be in the room trying to hide from parents or whatever, and your mom would answer the phone, and then the internet would stop. And you're
Yeah.
like, son of a bitch. Remember that horrible dial tone?
Yeah, I remember that.
So, Dan, you think like it should just be left for part time?
yeah, at least make some money off of it. I mean, you know, if you're showing for free, that's something I've kind of, you know, I'm kind of changing what I'm doing now because I've discovered virtual reality. Oh my God, that is so cool. And virtual reality in 3D.
Virtual reality porn is a different thing. You're over there dodging cum shots like the Matrix. you're like, whoa, shit. So,
Yeah.
what are you doing on virtual reality, bud?
What I'm going to start doing, kind of like what Royce does, where he goes around to famous places and kind of tours them. Well, I'm going to do it in 360.
Wow.
And, you know,
That's cool.
It's so much easier to shoot too. It's one of the 360 is probably one of the easiest videos to shoot. All you do is hold your monopole up and it's recording everything. Then when you get back to your editing, that's when you tell where in that 360 sphere you want to do your shot, and you can transition all over that 360, you know, in the editing process, the post-production part. So, you know, so you can actually watch it in 360, or you can do it to 16:9, make it a regular video. But you have so much material out there that you can pan over to another shot. You can go up to the sky. You know, all that's done in editing, and it's so stable. It is very, very stable because it's recording everything all the time. And I thought, man, that makes it so much easier.
So, for someone interested in this, how much does one of those cameras cost?
Well, I'm going. I've purchased a couple of cameras, and I'm kind of on the high end of the consumer. Once you get to the pro, you're talking thousands of dollars. You know, up to $35,000 for a camera.
Oh yeah, you're looking at paying that much for a regular camera to shoot like concerts and shit.
Well, for the consumer, they've actually come down in price. You know, I bought my first 360 camera back in 2017 for the total solar eclipse, and they weren't perfected back then. The resolution wasn't very good, and things in the distance looked blurry. Well, in the past 5 years, they've improved them where you're now shooting 5.7 K. I mean, it's crystal clear. And so I've invested into a 360 camera, and I'm thinking about getting a 3D camera as well. And they're running the 3D camera is about $800. Same thing with the 360. A good 360 camera will run you about $800. Of course, then you got all the accessories, the batteries, the carrying case. I mean, it's easy to spend $1,000 on each camera.
Yeah, because I've been looking into photography for like nature photography, concert photography, just photography in general. And them cameras, they can get a bit pricey. Even the regular ones, just for taking pictures at concerts and shit. If you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000.
See, that's one of the things I want to do with live bands.
Mhm.
I've done search on the internet, and there's not a lot of bands that have even done 3D or 360 videos. Metallica has a couple of them out there.
Hell yeah, did it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, for their music video for X, not live concert video, but they
Okay.
did do for a music video.
Yeah, live concert's pretty cool. Volbeat did one that I was really impressed. They had like 3 or 4 360 cameras all over the place. One of them's on a crane. So you got a lot of overhead shots where you're looking down, you're hovering over the people, then you zoom right in on the stage. You're with the musicians.
That's cool as fuck.
Wow.
So
I'm
what I
pretty
want to
sure
do,
Parkway Drive did that too. With the
one of
drummer.
the things I want to do though, I'm only going to have one camera. So, when I shoot a video, I'm going to have to be on stage, just kind of moving the camera around. I don't have to aim at anything. I just walk around with my pole and get all the material.
Well, let me ask you, Dan. A friend of mine's got it's a YouTube show called Kevin Loves Tacos. It all started because of the whole Taco Tuesday thing, and he's always going to these different places. But this is even more involved than that. He'll be riding his bike, and it'll show you like an overhead of him riding his bike, and I'm
Yes.
like, how the hell is he doing that?
Yeah, that's a 360 camera on a monopod, and it's designed where it sees all 360 degrees except for right at the very bottom, and it makes the selfie stick invisible.
Okay.
So
He's got that attached to his bike or something, or?
Oh yeah, they've got motorcycle attachments for those monopods.
Oh, okay.
And you can also do it like with a car. They got suction cups you can put on your back window. You put a 10-foot monopod on there with your camera.
Oh, wow.
At the top. So when you're filming it, it looks like there's a drone flying over your car.
Well, and that's what I was wondering, how in the hell could he be doing that? He's going all through town and everything, and how could he be controlling a drone and riding his bike all over town? I couldn't figure out. I didn't really ask him. I was going to ask him how he was doing that, because these videos he makes are really cool.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff you can do. You can fly through an open window. You figure, well, how can you fly through an open window?
Right.
Well, or under a chair. You can fly everywhere with these things. What you do, you put your camera on a monopod. You go halfway under the object. You pause it.
Okay.
Then you go to the other side, unpause it, and the editing, it already knows how to splice them together. It's called stitching it. It's able to stitch that, and it looks like you're literally flying through things. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Really impressive.
That's cool as hell. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm on stage with a band and I'm recording them, I could go back there by the drummer, fly under his cymbals, not live. This has to be recorded and do it all post editing. Fly through his cymbals, go the other side, come out. It looked like I'm flying through the drum kit. I mean, you can do all sorts of things.
That is cool as hell.
amazing.
Like, you could realistically shoot an entire concert that way and release it on DVD.
Oh yeah. And right now I think it's pretty much in its infancy, because when 360 first came out, a lot of people were turned off by it, saying, who's going to watch a 360 video? Well, that's the cool thing about the new software now. You can watch it in 360 with virtual headset on, where you're just looking around, looking at everything. Or, you like I said, you could edit it into a 16:9 regular video where, you select your shot where you want to go, and you just all edit together where you got real smooth transitions to the next scene. And so I've been really getting into that here the last few weeks.
You know what would also be really cool, Dan?
I can't wait to see it.
You know what would also be cool, Dan? Giving the concert experience to people that really don't have the chance to see them. Like, you could go walk through the audience and shit and make it look like they're an audience member.
Yeah. So that's one thing too, when you have a camera, you're focused on the band. Well, I'm curious what the audience is doing too at a certain point. Well, what you do, you take the video all the way to that certain point in the song, and then you edit it, you turn around and you take the 360 part. So it's a real quick cut. So you can see the reaction real quick. You don't have to have 2 cameras. It's one camera doing everything.
What you could do is, like, not hire somebody, but have somebody with you and have them stand in the audience with the camera, like on the front, on the rail. And you could splice the two together so that people can see what it's like to be in the audience as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that
I-
would be cool.
It's unlimited, and I tell you what, the stabilization too is something else. With regular camera, you got the shaking of your hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the hard part. Oh, they also got it too, where you can actually do a walking tour, like Royce does, where when you were at Clint Eastwood's place. Okay, you could have been walking around and have it inset in the far corner of you, because it's seeing you too.
Oh.
It's also
Oh, yeah.
seeing what's ahead.
Yeah.
So you can do an inset while you're walking. It's live. So
That's
you can
great.
So you can see where you're going, and you can see the person that's doing it.
That's
That'd be
crazy.
kind of scary on a virtual reality because you're seeing like the house and you're like, what's behind me? And you see Royce's face.
Yeah.
Like right up to the camera.
That would be very scary. Hey, Dan. Okay, we're talking about concerts. Like in April 23rd, I'm going to see Alice Cooper at Ace Frehley's show right here in Paso Robles, just up the highway from me. And of course, I want to film a little bit and stuff like that. I'd like to have it on my show, But it always comes back to the goddamn copyright stuff, How do we? I mean, I think you can show stuff like that on Facebook, but not on some channel where you may eventually get paid someday. It winds up being a copyright thing, right?
Yeah, I had that issue with the Rolling Stones. When
Right.
the Rolling Stones were here in November, I figured, well, this isn't a pre-recorded song. They're doing it live. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
It does. Yeah. So what you do, you just dispute it, and usually
Thank
those
you,
copies. Once you dispute it, you wait about 30 days, and either they'll go ahead and let you monetize it, or they won't. And with the Rolling Stones, they eventually let me have it.
Well, if you're not monetizing it though, like if you're not setting to make profit off of it, put in the description for fair use and put like there's an actual text that you can find to state I don't own this, but I have the legal rights to play it and not profit off of it, because there is a Fair Use Act.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, if somebody makes a video like that, what they'll do, they'll find the original copyright owner, and any clicks will go to that person who owns the video. I mean, the rights to that song. So, but see, when you're monetized, it's almost like they give you that option. But like I did a video for my wife on her memorial, and everybody put up copyright claims because I'm doing Aerosmith, a bunch of other songs on there. But one by one, they allowed me to use it, except for Chicago. Chicago would not let me use one of their songs. So in that portion of the video, it's just dead silent. There's no audio. They just took it off.
They can demonetize just one video. I don't see what the deal is of you playing that song if you're not profiting off of it. Because if anything, it's free publicity for that band.
Yeah, they don't care.
Well, I have a copyright claim against me on 3 or 4 things that I've done, and I think 3 of them, I was playing an album that had really a nice colored vinyl. While the song played, I filmed it, and I put those on as shorts, and so I kept them under 1 minute. But I had a copyright claim, and I followed up on it. It's basically all it says is that if you were to monetize and you were getting paid for like a little commercial or something on this particular video, you're going to have to split it, split it with the person that owns this, So it wasn't like a real copyright strike, which prevents you from being monetized and things like that, which I'm still, I'm a long ways away from that. I may or may not live long enough to see monetization on my channel. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours,
And on YouTube, you make like a penny for every 1,000 views or some shit.
Yeah, it's not much.
It's not a lot, I've read stories from people, the first year they were monetized, they made a couple $100 a month or something like that. And I don't even know if that's accurate.
Well, the thing is,
a long time. When you see someone like a Jordan the Lion or or a Rick Beato or some of these guys that are super popular, and they'll put a video on, and in 6 hours they've got 18,000 views, and they've got to be doing really well,
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with especially Spotify and YouTube kind of go hand in hand with this. They are the least paid services out there, but they're the most popular. YouTube will pay you like a penny for every 1,000 views. Spotify will pay you like less than a penny for every 1,000 listens. Like it's some crazy amount that they barely pay. And the only reason I'm on those platforms is because they're so popular. It's easier to get yourself out on them.
Well,
I thought,
I do know
go
if you're monetized and somebody disputes the copyright claim, I mean, it, makes a copyright claim against your work. Well, you can always dispute it with YouTube. Okay. And then they'll come back with the results saying, yeah, they're going to go ahead and let you have it, or no, you can't use it. Okay. But if you disagree with their judgment and it comes back against you again, it's a copyright strike. So it's always it's okay to dispute everything once and then be done with it. Don't dispute their decision, because you get three copyright strikes and all your work is gone. I mean,
what's messed up though is they're able to find the copyright owner. Why not just pay the copyright owner instead of you for that particular video?
I don't know how they do it. And what's even harder is movies. If you've got a movie, because I had some old movies that I put on my YouTube channel, and all of them were being disputed, even though they were in the public domain. There's people that just because the movie is not copyrighted doesn't mean the script wasn't copyrighted. Doesn't mean that there's different elements in that movie that are copyrighted, but the entire movie itself may not be copyrighted. Exactly. So you say, well, I can use it. So I use it. Next thing I know, I'm getting all these copyright hits saying, they're just But when you go back and dispute them, like one of my movies, I forgot which, Night of the Living Dead, I think it was. I had like 5 or 6 claims against that, but I knocked them all down. Now I get fully monetized. Anybody watch Night of the Living Dead on my channel, I actually get credit for the hits now.
Nice.
That's cool. You own Night of the Living Dead now. You going to make a sequel?
No.
Well, with so many shows out there, it just gets harder and harder to build up your pool of subscribers. And so I'm always trying to look for a way. And I thought I unlocked the holy grail of getting subscribers about 2.5 weeks ago. And I practically overnight gained about 30 subscribers. And I was like, oh my God, it's only going to take me another, 8 weeks and I'm going to have my 1,000. And I woke up the next morning and they'd taken all of them away plus some.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I went from 270 something to 230 something. I was like, oh my God, and I complained, but they didn't give a shit. So I've come up with, anyway, I'm working on it. Then I see these sites that say you could pay for subscribers and view hours, and then I read the ones from that actually Google and YouTube put on, and the only way you could pay for subscribers, and I don't know that I would ever do this because there's no guarantee, is through them. Yes, you can pay YouTube and Google. You can pay them for subscribers and watch hours, but nobody else.
Well, the way that YouTube and Google work with that is they will move you up the trending list. It's not that they're paying for the subscribers. They're making you easily more accessible. There are independent companies that you can pay for more subscribers, but those aren't authentic subscribers. Those are just accounts they created and they just subscribe to in masses.
They're get probably thrown out over time,
Well, the thing I've noticed that gets you more views and more subscribers than anything is when YouTube helps you out.
Yep.
I've got my Columbia Space Shuttle video. And, I posted it. I was getting some hits. It wasn't that big a deal. But then somehow YouTube put me on a referral thing. They referred people to my video. Oh, my God, I was getting 10,000 hits, 10,000 hits a day.
No, Dan, that's exactly right. I made a little 8-minute video about 6 months ago, how to build a patio cover the right way, just for fun, and put it under my construction channel. And it was plodding along, 60 views, 77 views. And all of a sudden, I checked it one day, and it was like 250 views. The next day, 300 views, and now it's over 1,000 views, all in I think 90 days. And for 5 months, it did like nothing. And so that's one of mine that have broke 1,000. I got a few others that are knocking at the door. My Cayucas travel video has got 1.2 thousand. My Harmony video. Harmony's, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Harmony. It's on Highway 1. It goes up and down the California coastline. And Harmony is between Cambria and Morro Bay. And Harmony used to be a creamery, and, where they milk and made cheese and everything like that. And now it's just a little artsy place. They got a glass blower there. There's a population of 18. You can rent the entire town. And there's a winery, Harmony Vineyards. It sits up on the hill. So we went there and made this fun little video and went up to the winery and drank wine and stuff like that. And crawled out the door later on. But that's pushing 900 right now. It's kind of right behind my Cayucas one on its way up. So I think that's going to break 1,000 here before long. And I got a couple of others that are getting close. And my biggest show as far as like the music shows, because of the Kiss Army, is the Kiss one we did. I've got 930 or 35 views on that Kiss show. I could probably rerun that through all the Kiss sites, Kiss fan sites and stuff, and probably get really close to my 1,000 on that one.
See, on my channel, like I was trying to do something like outside of Pink Sock to get my name out there. And if I get my name out there, then Pink Sock gets heard. But a lot of the stuff that was hits for me was my reactions. Like I would watch videos or I would watch music videos and shit, and I'd react. And I was getting like 2,000 views on one of them. I can't do that anymore because I have like 9 copyright claims on every single fucking video.
Oh, geez.
Like every video got a copyright claim. And if I dispute that, then it's an actual copyright issue. So I'm not going to dispute any of them. I'm just done doing reactions that way. But me and Gorak, I might try to do this again. Me and Gorak was doing reactions, but we would listen to the music off camera, then go live and give what we think.
Yeah.
But
well, I have TubeBuddy. Did you subscribe to TubeBuddy?
Not yet, but I can right now.
Yeah, you can put any show you want. You can put it up, and you can put it through these analytics and keywords for your hashtags and all this stuff. And there's a lot of stuff you can overlook that would actually help you and help your show.
I do have TubeBuddy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I don't have the most premium. I've got the middle of the road one. But the most bitter pill to swallow for anybody with this show is if you watch any of these videos on how to grow your channel, being put on by people with 3 million, subscribers. It's like good content.
Yeah.
And that one, it's humbling when you see that over and over again. It's like,
and a lot of content.
Pardon me?
You need a lot of content too. You got to keep adding content.
Yeah.
You can't put 4 videos up and expect anything to happen.
Yeah, some of the most popular content creators will release a bunch of content at once, and some of it's garbage, but you know who they are, and they are very popular because they are consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And they say consistency is a big thing. Like do the show at the same time every week. Don't do it, Monday 1 week and Thursday 3 weeks later, all at different times. It's that consistency where people get used to expecting you to come on at a certain time. I don't know if I screwed up or not. I was on Saturday night, and I noticed that the numbers were dropping, and it wasn't just me, but the view numbers and the people in the chat started just really dropping. And I had these, I had guys that were, the guys that were kind of co-hosting for a while with me, for actually quite a while. And they were big Kiss fans, and they all had their own fan base from a show they've been on before. And the show, at first it was really strong. Then toward the end, it was really starting to taper off, and with everybody still there. And so I was trying to figure this out. At the same time, the restrictions of COVID were going away. Yeah. And I remember, like, we have our Carlton Hotel downtown, which had a restaurant. I mean, the guy spent $27 million rebuilding it. And really a beautiful place, and big restaurant downstairs with a huge sushi bar inside the restaurant, a bitchin' bar, a lounge. There's always somebody in there. Sometimes it was open mic night, things like that. People in there making music. And I swear to God, if you were sitting in there on a Friday or Saturday night, before the night was over, it seemed like everybody you knew walked in and bought a drink, And we had a lot of fun times down there. And, when they started lifting the restrictions on COVID, especially in the cities where you've got your favorite club, your favorite bar, where you meet your friends and have a drink and have something to eat, it seemed like Friday and Saturday nights may not be a good idea anymore, because these are the nights that people like to go out. And I thought, well, maybe Sundays, when everybody's chilling and mellowing out and they're trying to recuperate from the rest of the weekend, might be a good time to try a Sunday. But it really hasn't improved on Sunday. So I don't know if that was a mistake or not.
I think the issue that we're having on the show, because we're consistent, We've been on every Monday at noon for the last year. I think the issue with our show is similar to yours, is the whole pandemic thing. I think if we pre-recorded, which we might start doing our interviews that way, we might do
Yeah.
some episodes that way and upload it to Spotify and shit and YouTube on Mondays. But for us, it's more so that people just can't listen live anymore. People are listening, but they're listening after the fact.
Yeah.
So,
And the thing that I struggle with also, another thing that I struggle with is the length of the shows. Because I'll go back to my analytics, time and time again after I do a show to see, how many people were in the chat, how many comments were made, where my viewers are coming from. Are they subscribers? Are they just recommendations by Google? I go through that like it's really taking a lot of my time. I should be getting paid. I'm spending so much time, but I go through that and analyze it just time and time again. And a lot of times I'm getting more viewers just from recommendations, from Google or YouTube than I am from my subscribers.
That's why they say being an entertainer, you have to be mentally insane. And that goes for podcasters too, because we're putting in all this work and effort for like nothing. But the thing is what I realize is you got to stop worrying about how many listeners you have and shit, and just put in the work and bust your ass off. Because I've got a friend that has a decent following, and he doesn't worry about how big his following is. He just interacts with the people that are there, and he appreciates the people that are there. And he just blew the fuck up. And he's like, whoa, wait. He's like, I didn't worry about it. Now I'm
but it's a tough deal, It's a tough deal when you wind up for a while you're having 35 people in your chat, or maybe you peaked at 40 people in your chat, and you've got 700 chat comments, and all of a sudden you're down to like the most concurrent people that were in your chat at one time were 7 and there's like 90 comments, and maybe 30 of them are mine.
I feel you, Royce, because like our average listeners live went from like, we used to have 30 or 40 live to like 4. And but the thing is I appreciate the hell out of those 4 or 5, because they're the same consistent people every week tuning in, and they help promote and all that. They do the best they can to help promote, and I truly appreciate them. And eventually it will pay off. But what I think we have to do as a community is eventually, we might not want to do this because it might not be worth the hassle, but we will eventually have to spend our own money to promote, to try to get to that point. Because a lot of these people pay promotion sponsors and shit to get to that point.
Right.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Another thing that helps too is networking with each other.
Yep.
Right.
I'm on your show. Next week you can come on my show. Because now you're being exposed to a whole different audience that you may appeal to. So and you bring them over to your show. So I think it's great to go around and guest host on other people's shows.
It's fantastic, and I didn't do this last night, but the week before, the show that I had before, I gave all of you guys a shout out. Dan, Mike, Caitlin, Robert. I gave Robert a shout out, and I gave a whole Rachel's Music Ma'am, who popped in on my show last night, surprised me. But I gave like everybody that I ever interact with on shows, I gave them all a shout out. It was a long list too. It took me about 5 or 10 minutes to get through it, because I was paying, compliments to them and talking about, their shows and things like that. And it was like the first 10 minutes of my show, like I said, not last night, but the week before, and just like I said, giving everybody shout outs and stuff like that. And that's important too. If you like people and viewers like your show, then they're gonna, maybe go check it out. And not always. And you know what? Another thing too, which is, I probably shouldn't even bring this up, but like a lot of us came from, well, I know me and Dan did, and a lot of other people that we interact with came from another show that we all got. We all left. Let me put it that way. And some of them left with some really, really hard feelings, and they're really like still traumatized from that. You know what I'm saying? I only left because, my daughter is involved in the show and my son-in-law, and we all hate each other today.
I've always wanted to get into podcasting's always been something I wanted to get into. And to go back to the show you're talking about, what that host doesn't realize is podcasting isn't a fucking competition. we're all in this together. We're all a community. We should take
Yeah.
care of one another and help one another. And
Yeah.
a lot of people think I'm inspired by Ryan when it comes to the podcast because I became friends with him around the same time that I started. But it's something I've always wanted to do, and he helped me boost my confidence because I'm like, hey, this rock star can do it. Why can't I? So I decided, like, hey, let's do this, and I did it. But the one thing that he taught me was it's not a competition. Because earlier on, he helped promote Pink Sock before he even saw the show. He started helping promote it, and so did Kathy Grant, which was part of the show at the time. We're all a community. We're a family. We aren't competition. We should help one another grow.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. You know, and sadly, like I was saying before, some of the people were really abused on this other show, and they were really traumatized. And I can have a show and I can have a chat, and a couple of people might pop in the chat that may have offended them at one time or another when they were having their problems with the host of that show. And they don't want those people there. And before I know it, I'm offending people because some of these people come on and they're like, oh, hey, I got new people in the chat. This is great. Hi, so-and-so. Hi, so-and-so. And they're sitting there looking at me like, we hate them. Why are you doing this? You know, and before you know it, they're not showing up anymore.
The thing is no hate, all love. And that's weird coming from me because I do bust balls on this show. I do say some offensive things, but I mean it all in good love. Like if I offend anyone or I upset somebody, if I directly make fun of them or whatever, let me know. I won't do it. But like, it's all in good fun. He would be hateful to be fucking hateful.
Right. Well, I consider myself a super sensitive person, you know, probably more than most. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. I mean, I'd like to have the liberty to grow my show a little bit by interacting with others, but I don't want to offend anybody, especially my friends that have helped my show and rallied people to come to my show. And I feel really bad. And it's like, I don't know, you know, it's like some of them have been offended for some reason, and they went from being my biggest fan, so I don't even see them anymore.
Well, the issue is
I'm the last to know what I did wrong.
Well, the issue is animalistic instincts that humans have. A lot of humans have issues taking their ego, bottling it up, like getting rid of their ego and trying to get along with one another, whether they agree with the way the person is or not. And that becomes very toxic. A lot of people's egos get in the way, and talking about the show that you're talking about. I mean, ego. That's all it is. I mean, you can't coexist with another show, so you'd rather bash that show.
Yeah, and you know, and if you go on that show, and I pop in just to see what's going on sometimes, how many views they have, who's in the chat, and I can never count more than 3 to 5 men in the chat, you know, and it's all the girls now because I think a lot of the guys have figured it out, you know, what's going on there.
Oh, a whole lot of self-promotion going on there too. A lot of self-promotion.
And speaking of, we did have Royce promote, Dan. It would be wrong of me to not let you promote. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't have anything really consistent right now. I'm still in the development phase. Okay. It's been taking me a long time. I've had some issues, you know, my wife passing and, you know, and there's other things. I've had 3 heart attacks this year and, you know, so I'm a little slow, but I'm still developing things behind the scenes, even though I'm not producing anything yet. Well, very little.
Do you plan on doing a podcast like this style where you interview people that you've met over the years?
Occasionally. I won't do it all the time. It's a lot of work. And well, you know, I was talking to a guy, he was he's in a band, and I told him, you know, hey, let's come on my show. We'll do a live interview. He refused. He said, I will not do live. He was in a band early on in his career in the 80s that were very popular. Okay. And when he left the band, there was a whole lot of hard feelings. He has a hard time holding those feelings in, and he's afraid he's going to say something stupid live. So he agreed to an interview, but I got to do it all edited. You know, he doesn't. So a lot of people like that. They don't want to be live.
Yeah, that's an issue we've had on the show, and also this is why we're going to start pre-recording our interviews because a lot of people aren't available at the same time. And what you could do, Dan, is we do have Kathy who does Reignite. She interviews like 80s musicians. You could do a show like she does once a month. She goes live once a month with a guest, and then that's it. No, not once a week like we do. I mean, it's hard to get a guest once a week. We have most of our shows anymore is just us bullshitting with you guys.
Yeah.
And I
and that
enjoy
really
that.
does make, but that makes for a fun show too. You know,
Yeah.
you got to go way off script. You know, and just ad lib. You know, I mean, I try to. Oftentimes, I'll call my show a certain thing. This is going to be Alice Cooper. This is going to be Muhammad Ali. This is going to be whoever. But you wind up off script a lot, and it's even better that you do that too.
Not to spoil anything, but this show we don't script even when we have a guest. Like,
Right.
I'll have Naomi write up a biography so that I know who the person is,
Yeah,
like what they're about, but I don't stick to
right.
a script. Like when
No.
I had Clive Jackson on last week, I knew who he was. Like, I was aware, like I read his biography. No
Yeah.
planned questions. Like, I had questions up here that I wanted to ask, but if you make a script, 9 times out of 10 you're not sticking to it anyway. Especially on a show like this where like people just want to talk.
But I think it's better that way. You know, you can have a little, you know, a basic. This is kind of what the show is going to be about, and maybe start with a little bit of that. But you know, when it starts going off script, I mean, I think we're all having more fun. You know.
Yeah, but it kind of is a double-edged sword, because if you have a set topic and somebody tunes in and they're like, that ain't what they're talking about, then that's when people leave too. Like, it's
and I know that. You know, I went to Carmel and visited Clint Eastwood's Mission Ranch and had dinner there, and then we went down to the Hog's Breath Inn, which he owned for 22 or 27 years, and that was really fun down there because we were kidding around with the people that work there and stuff like that, and some of the other people in there, and but at the time that I did that, the movie Cry Macho was coming out at that exact same time. So to get attention, you know, my advertisement was Cry Macho, you know, and I think there were some people that went there expecting to see something about the movie and found out it had nothing to do with the movie. So you have to be careful what you do there, you know?
Yeah. That's why our show, if you notice, we will have like some topics sometimes.
Yeah.
But we only do 2 or 3, and then we do and much more, because we never stick to like one topic.
And I'm trying to change the name of my live podcast too. You know, it's music and other interesting topics or something like that now.
Well, I like Royce in the house because it's you. You talk about whatever you want. You're Royce. You're in the house.
Call it free for all.
Yeah, free for all.
Yeah, free for all. I'm in the jailhouse.
How about this? You make an alternative podcast called the Blue Waffle Podcast.
That's probably a good idea.
And I'll just co-host every now and again.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, I have fun doing this, and before your show started, I was on Rachel's show, you know, and she was on my show last night, and she was telling everybody how much fun, and she talked about you know, Mike, and talked about Scott, and was wanting to know how to reach him on Instagram and maybe buy an album from him and things like that, and she was really impressed with all of you. You know, she really enjoyed coming on last night.
I'll tell you what, Rachel has got to be the busiest podcaster there is out there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
2 shows a fucking day.
2 shows a day. And every time, you know, I'll see she's on, you know, and I'll click on and see what's going on.
Right.
Consistently 50 people every time.
Yeah. 50, 56 people like every single time. It's almost like you wonder if she's not putting that number in herself. It's always like 56. No, her show was fun. We were actually talking about Ukraine and stuff this morning, and people were getting their digs in on Putin and things like that. And
it also
of course, I can't resist when those topics come up. Huh?
It's actually helps Rachel a lot too, because she's highly intelligent when it comes to music. Like,
Yeah,
she knows everything. Like, I'll be honest, I was a little embarrassed last night because I was a little high, I'll be honest. And we was talking about Alice Cooper, and I'm like, the panties was in and I couldn't guess the name. She got it. And then, like, I usually know my music trivia, but I was off.
Right. And I'm actually stepping on them as you guys are talking about it, looking for them.
and then she said, I forget what it was, but it was some album. And I said 73 instead of 71. And she corrected me. I'm like, God damn it.
No, she really knows a lot, you know. she keeps all those people on her show straight. But she has kind of a fun cast, and they rotate in and out. And I didn't go on the show. I just participated in the chat this morning, But it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, and she's got her show is there's no format or anything. It just, like I said, she'll mention something that Sir James is going to put a puzzle together, and somewhere in the show, there's these puzzle pieces being picked up and moved together, and Sir James puts a puzzle together.
I saw that this morning.
But that's what she advertised as her show, and that was just a little tiny small part of it. Because her shows, I mean, they're like 2+ hours, and that's another thing that's kind of hard. And I don't know how you feel about it, because it's really easy to like go 3 hours if you're not careful.
Yeah, and also an issue that I have with the show is coming up with a topic, and coming up with because I do flyer pictures for every episode. Like I actually have a thumbnail photo. And 2 years in, over 200, 300 episodes, you start running out of ideas.
Well, I know, and that's why I'm trying to get away from so much album unboxing, because I've done the Stones twice. I've done the Beatles twice. I feel like I almost blew it on Led Zeppelin. I had 3 Led Zeppelin albums, and I do a Led Zeppelin unboxing, And I think I almost embarrassed myself. Fortunately, my co-host also had stuff, that helped out.
Since
and I had
a music podcast, I have an idea for you, though.
Okay.
You could do something on your channel that's not live, or you can do a secondary thing called Throwback Thursdays or Way Back Wednesdays, where you discuss a band that isn't around anymore that never got the popularity they deserve.
You know what? My wife brought that up to me and actually printed a bunch of stuff off the computer along those lines. Bands that, they might have written a bunch of songs for other people and kind of were coming close to being really recognized, but just never turned the corner on it, And so I have that on my list of shows, but I think it's a great idea. It really is a great idea.
Because I had a media company, and I was planning on doing that again with the one that I help out. I help out with Audio Zane Entertainment, which I haven't had a chance to do lately. Right. But I did a thing called like Way Back Wednesdays and Throwback Thursdays. I did both.
Yeah. And well, what I've started doing just to try to get my watch hours up is I've been throwing 2 or 3 my old shows up and starting on Facebook with the caption Throwback Thursday.
Well, the way that I did it was Way Back Wednesday was us bringing up bands that like most people might not have heard of that were together at one time or whatever. And then Throwback Thursday was we do album reviews. So I would review an album that came out years ago. Like I would re-listen to an album and then review it. And some of the bands we covered are bands that you might not have heard of. Like you might have heard of them, Dan, but 2, which is the number 2 WO, which it was a band formed by Rob Halford and John 5. It was an industrial metal band. They came out when Rob Halford came out of the closet. They were an industrial metal band. They released 1 music video, 1 album, and that's it. They're a one and done kind of thing. They did 2 tours.
Yeah, and no, I never have heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Halford also had that band Fight.
Yeah, Fight, which the first album featured Russ Parrish, who also is currently the guitarist of Steel Panther. That was a 90s metal band with Rob. They did Fight, and then I believe 2 came out after that, and then Halford came out. Which Halford features on lead guitar the singer of Damage Plan.
Oh, yeah, Pat Lockman. Yeah,
he's the guitarist of Halford. Was he also?
Go ahead.
Was he also the guitarist of the last Fight album, or was that a different guy?
I think he was there. I think that was him.
It might have. I'm not sure. I'll look up the second Fight album, but yeah, he was the guitarist of Halford. I at least know that.
Yeah, I got to know Pat for a while during Damage Plan days. That was
I figured
cool.
You would have, because
Pat was, well, I already knew Vinny and Dime, and Bob Zilla was new to me too. I didn't know Bob Zilla back then till Damage Plan. And, when we were in Chicago for the tribute to Dimebag, this is like February of 2005. And here I am in downtown Chicago with my wife and my daughter. There was Pat Lockman across the street, and he's pointing at me, it's pretty cool when a rock star points at you and they know you,
Right.
But Pat kind of disappeared, after Dimebag's murder. The band kind of was a little pissed at him because they said he was the biggest chicken shit during the shooting than anybody. And he's the one you hear on the video yelling, "Someone called 911." That's Pat on the microphone yelling. And they said he ran out of there like a scared chicken.
I mean, to be honest,
but I don't, hey, I probably would have done the same thing. I mean,
I would have too. I would have been like, "There's guns shot fired. I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah. and well, of course, then after a couple of months went by, I think 3 or 4 months had gone by, Pat started doing music again, and the Damage Plan camp was pretty pissed about that, saying it was too soon, and they just kind of shrugged him out, and Pat kind of disappeared. He did start another band for a couple of years. I forgot what the name of it was.
But all due respect, everyone mourns differently, and you should be able to work after a tragedy like that.
Yeah. They just said it was disrespectful for him to jump back into the music industry so quick. And then he just kind of disappeared after that. I don't know where he's at now.
By the way, no, he wasn't in Fight. He was only in Halford.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Fight had Brian Tilsey and Mark Chauzy in the band after Russ left. Halford, Pat no longer plays guitar for Halford. Halford recently reunited, actually. He left the band when the original run was over. The current guitarist is Mike Chaucelik, who actually played for them with Pat. And then the other guitarist is Roy Z, who replaced Pat. So
I'll tell you what, some of my best memories of being backstage with the band is with Judas Priest. I mean, that was a blast. Two times I got to go backstage with. And, it's not like a green room where it's a little room with a couple of couches. This is like a damn apartment, and it was just full of food. There's food everywhere. And a little cool story about that. Rob wasn't there. Rob had his own place. He wasn't with the rest of the band members. And so we're back there eating and drinking with Judas Priest. And Glenn Tipton said, "Hey, are there any clubs still open around here?" We said, "Yeah, there's one down to West End in Dallas." He goes, "Let's go down there." So I go, "Well, how are we all going to get down there?" And he goes, we'll take the tour bus. I was like, "Well, who's going to drive?" Glenn said, "Well, I'll drive." He goes, "I know how to drive the bus." I go, "Cool." So we're about to get loaded up on the bus. I'm getting ready to take the Judas Priest tour bus and party with the guys, everybody but Rob Halford. And the guy that I came there with that night, I was with him. He was my ride. He comes walking in, and he's just sick drunk. "I got to go home, man." Shit, I had to drive him home. I didn't get the chance to go. I was so pissed.
Absolutely.
Dude. That's awesome. Did you get to meet Rob Halford eventually?
One time.
The dude's cool as shit. I follow him on Instagram. He's cool as fuck. He actually posted a picture. It's him holding a pick, and he's like, "I went and saw my favorite band today." He went and saw fucking Behemoth. That is Rob Halford's favorite band right now, and he has the pick, and the band invited him backstage to hang out, and he was acting like a fucking fan. Like he's like, "I met my favorite band," and the guys at Behemoth is like, "You're a fucking metal god. Why are you acting this way?"
Well, rock stars are fans too. That's what Dimebag told me one time. The band I used to manage called Aska, they were performing at a little club in Arlington, Texas, and Dime and Vinny show up like they always did, and Dime is standing right next to me, and he's just getting into it, And I told him, I said, "You know how odd it is to see a rock star like you just in a little club headbang into a local band?" He goes, "Hey man," he goes, "Hey man, we're fans too."
Right. That's funny.
Is Aska still around?
True.
Yes, Aska performed a couple of weeks ago.
Because I remember that name. They never met like huge fame, but they played Rocklahoma.
Oh yeah, Rocklahoma was their biggest fame came back in the early 1990s. They were all four of the members were from Panama. They're American citizens, but they lived in the Panama Canal Zone. And this was back when Noriega was getting busted down there in Panama, and Noriega was held up in a church, I think it was, and the U.S. military had him surrounded, and he wouldn't come out. So they started playing heavy metal music to blast him out of there. Well, some of that music came from Aska. It was their demo tape. And Department of Defense, caught eye of them and said, "Hey, we like you guys. You supported what happened down in Panama." So they signed them up for the Department of Defense tour. I mean, they were in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. They went to 34 different countries on 6 different tours.
Damn.
With the Department of Defense, and then when that came to an end, and that's about the time, well, Dimebag used to come around all the time, but once they were home more often, Dimebag would come by, so they got a little notoriety for that, Dimebag playing with them.
Hey, Dan, next week we don't have a guest, so if you're able to come on and continue talking, that would be awesome, but we are at the 2-hour mark.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys promote. I know you've got nothing going on right now, Dan, but if you want to promote your channel so that you can start getting yourself out there, you're more than welcome. You too, Royce. Let's go.
Yeah, people think my YouTube page is called Just the Facts. It's not. The URL is youtube.com/askadan. So that'll take you to my Just the Facts page. But I'm adding content on there. Right now it's kind of slow, but I'll be putting more stuff on there here hopefully the next month or so.
So are you competing with Ask Jeeves? Is that what
There's actually a story about how I got my nickname Aska Dan. I was kind of like the 5th member of Aska. I mean, I did just about everything but being a musician.
Are you still in connections with those guys?
Oh yeah, George Call is one of my best friends.
Well, if they start doing podcast appearances, have them email me.
Yeah, in fact, they were on my very first podcast I ever did. I had Aska on there.
Because I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not like that big into knowing much about the band, so I'd really like to talk to them.
Yeah, when I first met them, they were like in their late 20s. Now they're in their 50s. So, they all got married and had kids, and so things slowed down over the years. But, they're still together.
I heard Ozzy say one time, and this might be the case for a lot of other men, that it's really weird to sing songs that you wrote in your youth. Because it's weird seeing, like, with Ozzy, a 70-year-old man go out there and sing horror rock songs with Black Sabbath. Like, he always said that just felt weird to him.
Something I always thought that when I was younger, like when the Beatles were around, thinking, well, back then they were like in their 20s and 30s. I thought, one of these days, these rock stars are going to be old. What's it going to be like when we have all old rock stars? What's that going to be like?
Now it's happening.
And to me, that's something I've been thinking about a whole lot here lately, because we're starting to lose them all, and it's cool to kind of go back and look at some of their history, some of the unknowns, the forgottens, from the past, like Procol Harum the other night, they lost their, lead singer, and man, what a loss, So it's I think it's good to talk about these older rock people before they're gone.
Yeah, I do too. I agree.
Really fucked up though is, think about this: in the next 15 to 20 years, Pantera will be considered oldies.
Yeah. Well, Dimebag died when he was 38, and he would be mid 50s now, 56.
Yeah.
In
the next like 20 years, they're now considered classic metal, classic rock. Here in the next 20 years, they will be considered oldies.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, like, in the nursing home, you're like, put on the old music that Grandpa enjoyed in his youth, and they put on like fucking
fucking hostile.
Yeah, fucking hostile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking hostile. Everybody's in their wheelchairs, fucking moshing.
A new level, and they're all like headbanging in their wheelchairs and shit.
But anyway, go subscribe to Askadan. It's youtube.com/Askadan. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah. Dan McNew.
Okay, you don't have like a Facebook page yet?
Not for that. Not for my video stuff. No.
Okay, and Royce, you are just Google Royce in the YouTube. Royce,
Royce in the House on YouTube. Multiple playlists. The live podcast is music. It started out just album unboxing, talking about a band and the concerts and the musicians that are in the band and the songs, and it's expanding out now. We're trying to do other things too, not just all music, and certainly not all album unboxing. We're still going to talk about a lot of musicians and bands and stuff, but it won't be as much album unboxing. I think that's kind of as far as that being a steady thing, has kind of ran its course. So we're trying to branch out. I'm looking forward to having some good interviews coming up with people that are of some notability. And I've got some people I'm working on now. It's hard to get people to come on. Even my show that had to do with war songs, a couple of weeks ago. This is a friend of mine, and he was embedded in Afghanistan, and he was also a sniper, but he was there training the Afghanis to fight. And he wrote this book, and it's actually they're making a screenplay out of it right now that they're going to circulate in Hollywood, and maybe make a movie out of it. And he's a friend of mine. His family, the family he married into, they've been friends of mine for 40 years. And in fact, his father-in-law and mother-in-law gave me and Betty tickets to go see Velvet Revolver.
So
anyway, it's all autographed and stuff like that, and it's a great book. It's really a great book, and I thought it would be really appropriate if I could get him to come on during the the show that I was having that talked about songs that were inspired by war. And I think he wanted to, but he at the last he said he just couldn't. And so that I think that would have been a really fun interview. I mean, we're talking about a guy that wrote a freaking novel here about his experiences over there. And I mean, he's a real soldier too. And so anyway, so that's one I tried to get on a couple of weeks ago, and I'm working on a few other people now. One of them hosts a real big show, 3 or 4 day show every year in Vegas. Been putting it on forever, and I've got a copy of his book, and I mean, there's pictures in it with him partying with John Lennon and Willie Nelson, and he just managed all kinds of bands throughout his career and put shows on, and it would be a real score to get him on, because there's tons and tons of people that have been in his shows over the years. It would be maybe a little bit easier if I got him to come on to get some of them to come on as well. Maybe open the floodgates a little bit on stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm working on different things, and I think more interviews is going to be the future.
Well, if you need help getting musicians on your show, I am connected with a PR company. They might not be big musicians. Like I get a lot of like indie musicians on my show occasionally.
Oh, okay, sure.
But if you're interested in having like a musician like that on the show or whatever, I can hook you up with the PR company that I work with.
Yeah, no, I'm totally interested. I'd like to start doing, maybe every other show.
So I'm gonna end the podcast. You guys can stay here.
Okay.
I would like to discuss.
I got to get going too. I've got a whole bunch of stuff.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Next week I won't be able to do the show live because I work. I was wondering if you guys would like to just do a live show without me and just talk and keep the show going, because I don't like canceling. So
canceling's not good.
Who would control the StreamYard?
Naomi controls the chat and everything.
Oh, okay.
She's our producer. She's in charge of all that shit. I just control like who gets shown when. But
okay, well, the only thing is, I mean, I would like to do it. And, the only thing is, right now I'm kind of unemployed.
Okay. Well, you're more than welcome to come on. We can just send you the invite link. But guess who the host is next week?
Who's the host?
We have a host announcement. We have this guy. He's gonna be
all right.
He's gonna move up to host next week. Make us proud, Greg. Okay, Greg.
That's gonna be fun.
Because I was going to pre-record the episode, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to see what Gorak is capable of, because I know he's capable of a lot. I've seen it. I saw the rash.
Yeah.
We all saw it last week. No, but Gorak,
you may wind up being his co-host.
Well, I actually quit calling Gorak the co-host. We call each other just host, because
just host. Yeah,
it sounds cocky to me, because this show isn't necessarily just mine now. It took on a body of its own. We've got Gorak, we've got Naomi, we've got the chat. So I just call Gorak the host now and Naomi the host.
Right.
So
That's
Gorak,
cool.
And I'm doing my best to promote the show as well. So if you see it on Tinder, Bumble, maybe like TikTok and stuff like that, that's from me.
So next week, Gorak is going to be hosting the show. I might be able to jump in during my lunch break, but that's an iffy. But
so when you say next week, is it Monday again?
Monday the 7th,
Monday.
same time. We go the same
Monday.
time every week. I was going to pre-record next week's episode because some of our interviews are going to start being pre-recorded. The show's going to be live. Like we're going to do the introduction live, but then we're going to show the pre-recorded interview. But next week, I'm just going to go live. I'm not going to pre-record nothing. I might do a little video introducing Gorak to show, but I'm not going to be able to be there because I work until 3 p.m. The show starts at noon.
Cool.
I just noticed as a guest, I can show a video file on here.
Yep, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next week, if you want to show a video file, you can show whatever you want. Guys, tune in next week, even though I'm not going to be there. Tune in next week because it's going to be a lot of fun. Dan has a lot of cool stories. Royce has a lot of cool stories. You're not going to have my fucked up sense of humor, so it's going to be more professional. And
I must show you my nipple.
and he won't show his nipples. But anyway, next week it is official. Adam Gorak is your host. And look, Dan was going to flash for us.
Dime.
That's a cool T-shirt, by the way. I like that.
I love
That's
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
And this is,
That is
I think that's from 2007. I think.
Go check out Ask a Dan on YouTube. Check out Royce in the House on YouTube and Pink Sock Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and we're on all streaming platforms. If you guys are interested in getting yours on streaming platforms as well, I will give you a little bit of information on how to do that. It is a long process, but it's worth it in the long run.
Doesn't cost.
It doesn't cost, but it does take time, especially when you have as many episodes as you do and I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now if you want, like I can probably take 2 days and do it for you, but I would have to have your login and shit to do it.
Right.
But it's pretty simplistic. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Once you get every episode on there, it's not hard. You just got to keep up with it.
Gotcha.
I bought an external hard drive that has every episode I've ever released on it, just in case YouTube decides to be assholes. I have everything saved.
That's a great idea.
I have all the videos saved. I have all the MP3s saved. I have all the flyers saved, all that. So if like YouTube decides to like say, hey, copyright strike, boom, and takes me off, I can still upload somewhere else. But thank you guys for tuning in. Dan, thank you for coming in, and thank you for coming in next week ahead of time. And thank you guys for everything. You guys are awesome. Check out these shows. They're awesome. And remember, live long, rock hard until next week. Love you guys.